3 years ago, I moved to another country to study. Since then, I've changed my studies 3 times, questioned my decisions, and felt like I was falling behind everybody else. Today, I want to talk about that journey and why it is okay if your path doesn't look like everyone else's. Hi livelies, welcome back to Life with Thysha. It's your girl and we're back today with another video, and this is the beginning of University Diaries. So what better way to start off than to tell you guys my whole journey from coming from the Caribbean to the Europe to study. With its failures, its ups, its downs, we're gonna get deep today. So sit down, sit tight, and let's get right into the video. I've dissected my whole journey into 5 parts so it is easy so you guys can listen through, and if you want to skip along you can do so, but I suggest just sit tight and listen to the whole thing because it's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs. Why did I choose to move abroad for studies? Well, to be completely honest, when I first moved here to the Netherlands, I essentially came, or I primarily came to study aviations. And if you do not know what aviation is, it is basically everything that has to do with the airport, with the aircrafts, with everything surrounded with the air. Just all that combined into one, and that is what we call aviation. Back home, so in Curacao, we don't have that study up until I'm aware of. Maybe it has changed, but up until I'm aware of, we don't have that study. So I had to take the move to come study here in Europe. And the easiest way for us in the Caribbean, essentially in Curacao, to move to another country abroad to study is to come to the Netherlands because we have a direct link with the Netherlands. So 3 years ago, so back in 2023, I packed my whole life in 2 suitcases and hopped on that 9 hour long plane ride and came here and to study. And the reason I chose that study, so aviation, was because back then I was working in the airport of Curacao. So I already kind of had like a brief expectation of what I would expect in the study, and that it was the main reason also that I chose it, because I really did love the whole airport life and being in the airport and working with different people, working with the whole aircraft, and I just loved being in that industry. Let's put it that way. But things change, people change, and we will get into that more on. We will get into that. So that's why I chose that study. Did it work? No, but I still am very grateful that I hopped on that plane and came here. For what I expected, I believe that I didn't really have an expectations on moving abroad. I was just more so very excited to be leaving home and coming to experience this whole new world that I was not aware of, that I've never been in. Because, fun fact is, when I moved here to the Netherlands, it was also my first time being here. So everything was just new. So I didn't put any expectations because I didn't really have any. So everything was just new. So for me, it was just like a new kid walking around, wandering around. I just started learning how to walk. So now I'm walking, I'm wandering, I'm experiencing this new world, this whole new thing. So, but for the studies itself, I did have expectations whatsoever, because before you get into any study program here, you have to go through a check, or kind of like a test, and where you kind of briefly get to touch base on all the basics on what the study is gonna be about. So I had that, and yeah, so I did kind of know what to expect, but still it was completely out of my expectations when I did really start the study and really got to experience everything that it had. So how I felt before moving, I was really excited. I was very excited. It was, I don't know if you guys know this. I don't believe I've talked about it on this channel yet, but I'm a firstborn in my family. So I'm a first daughter, first niece, first granddaughter. I'm the first. So to me, I was really excited, and also I was so much more excited to be able to show my family that we can and we would achieve everything we put in front of us. Because that is something I've always carried around with me, is that I really wanted to show my family and the generations to come after me that this is possible and we can do it. So those were my feelings that I had before coming here, that we can do it. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna make it, and you guys will see, and we get to experience this together because my family get to experience this through me and experiencing a whole new thing they've never experienced. So I was really excited, and I really wanted to share this with my family too. Now that we've touched base on the basics on why I came here, what my expectations was, what I was feeling, now we're really gonna go into the reality and into the deep and nitty gritty of things that happened throughout my 3 years living here. So, like I said, it was my first time ever being here when I hopped on that plane and came here and moved here. It was my first time here. So to me, like I said prior, I didn't have any expectations whatsoever. I just wanted to embrace it all and embrace all the new things that I will learn along the way. So I didn't put myself in a box of like, this is what I expect and whatnot. The only part where I did have an expectation on was my studies, because since little I've always been the type of person that would plan out my whole life. So since little I planned out that I would finish school at 23. I would pretty much be doing my masters and maybe finishing that around 25. I would get my first kid around 26, 27. I would be married also by then, and probably starting to build a house or whatnot. So that was my plan I had. So to me, moving here, I was 20. Yeah, I was 20 at the time. So I was already behind my schedule that I've put for myself. So to me, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm already behind, but I will still catch on because then I will be finishing university at 24. I would probably finish my master's at like 26, 25, 26. Then I would still go on with all the other plans I had after that. To me, I was sticking to a plan. I had a plan in mind and I needed to stick to it, and I needed to complete this plan that I put in front of me. So that was an expectation that I had. Whatsoever, there's a lot of factors that come into play when you move from home, your home base, which is where you feel the most comfortable, where you feel the most safe, and you come to a whole nother part of the world and you're alone. You don't know anybody here. You are trying to make new friends, trying to also financially support yourself, trying to do good in school and university, and still showing up for yourself every day. So it's a lot. It's a lot for anybody, I believe. It's not only for somebody who moved here just to study, but it's a lot for anybody. So let's dissect that so we can go on every topic so I don't miss out anything that I really want to tell you guys. But first, homesickness. That is one of the factors that before coming here, everybody tells you, oh, you're going to feel homesickness. Oh, you're going to feel this. Oh, you're going to miss your family. When like Christmas Day rolls around, like the Christmas time, you're going to feel homesick. You're going to miss your family. You're going to miss like the way you had it back home. So, you kind of already come with that in mind. Me, on the other hand, I've always been very stubborn. So I didn't care what nobody had to tell me, and I didn't grab anybody experience and made it my own. But I came here and I was ready to make my own experience because everybody has their own experience. It's different for everybody. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna. I may listen, I hear you, I hear you, I do hear you, but I'm not gonna grab it and be like, oh, this is gonna happen to me too. So no, it wasn't that. Homesickness was something that I didn't really experience. If I'm being completely honest, it wasn't one of those factors that hindered me or bothered me or influenced my journey in school. It wasn't. I talked with my mom every day. We had good communication. I think we even had better communication than me being back home. So to me, that was a factor that did not bother me whatsoever. I don't think it was homesickness, but you know, when it was my sister's birthday, I wasn't there, so I was like, oh, this is so sad. Like, she's growing up and I don't get to experience it. Like, those things maybe kind of made me a bit sad on that day, but I would wake up the next day and be a-okay. So I don't believe it really was homesickness. Now, this part is a bit more personal for me, and it was the academic pressure. The academic pressure I had in my first year was so unbearable, to the point where sometimes I didn't even want to go to school. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to wake up and be there for myself, to be completely honest. It was so much, to the point where I felt so depressed, and I just didn't find joy anymore in what I came to study. So, aviation, I didn't find joy in it anymore. I was so under pressure. I was depressed. My first year here, the academic pressure was so depressing on me that I would be crying when I had to submit an assignment. I would be stressing out. I would not be eating, and it was so much, to the point where I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot. Too much. It was so much. And again, with the academic pressure, you're alone. You have to financially provide for yourself. Mind you, guys, I was not working my first year because I told myself, I'm coming here, I'm not working. I'm putting all my focus in school and maybe some small little things on the side, like gym and going out with friends and stuff like that. So I was not working. So we had a system locked in where we get, it's kind of like, it's like a fund you get every month. So it pays your rent. You can buy things to eat, groceries and stuff like that. So, but it was the basics. Other than that, that was it. So basics. And you know, my mom did really help me the first year also financially. I cannot lie on that. So I had that help. But even so, without having so much on my plate, it still felt so much. And I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna put videos on here so you guys can also see how my experience was. So I'm getting really deep here. I'm getting very personal. I don't normally do this, but I do feel like my story can help somebody else. So yeah, I'm putting it all there. But yeah, the academic pressure was so much. And coming from a system back home where teachers are on your ass 24/7. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? Did you do your assignment? Okay, you get a second chance or you get a third chance. Here it was like, if I got to submit my assignment on Saturday 11:59 p.m. and I accidentally, or the internet stopped working or whatever the case may be, and it got submitted at 12, you didn't submit. So you filled that, whatever it was, you filled that. You know how hard that was? That was so hard, because again, it's a new structure, it's a new way of working that I wasn't used to. So yeah, it was very hard. My background on what I had in like studies was office management. That to aviation, those are two different worlds. Those are two separate things. But I still took the leap of faith, because I was like, if somebody else could have done it, I can do it too. It's not out of reach if somebody else can do it. Do I think maybe if the odds were different, I would have finished that study. No, I don't believe so. And why I say this, because there came a time in my study where I felt this is not for me. Because the academic pressure was so much, I felt also behind with my assignments, which at like the last semester, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was between, yeah, it was the last semester. I had still two things that I needed to submit that I didn't submit, so I didn't have any more chances to submit that. I did not realize this until it was so late on. And I remember my coach back then came to me and was like, Thysha, you didn't submit these two things. So you're not going to be passing your first year, which means you have to look for another study because you didn't complete all the 45 easy points that you needed to go through to the next year, because you need 45 easy points to go through the next year and then 60 and you get your proper days that you finish your whole first year. I didn't have the 45 easy points because I still had one test that I needed to resit. You know how that break me? Like at that moment, that was like a cold shower that just poured down. I went in the restroom. I was crying on the phone with my mom. I was like, "Mom, I'm not gonna be able to pass this. I'm not." I probably would have to look for another study. At that point, I was so I was so in shock where I kind of blocked. So I was sitting there on the toilet crying at school. I was still at school. I didn't know what to do. At that point, I started feeling like failure because I didn't make it. After that, gracefully, and I am so grateful for the teachers and the coach that I had back then, because they saw how hard I was trying the whole school year. I was coming to every class. I was really trying. Coming from, Curacao to here, I'm new here. I don't know anything. Not that I don't know anything, but it's new. Everything is new. So they gave me a second chance to submit, but I'm somebody that I grieve for 1-2 days and then I'm back up. So at the time that they told me that, yeah, we give you a second chance, I already made up my mind that I didn't want to do it anymore. I learned something from that version of me, so I'm very grateful for that. After going deep, after going deep and talking about how it happened my first year, now I'm gonna tell you guys how I switched studies. So, what studies I switched, how, and all that. Like I said prior, my first study was aviation. I was going and I was studying aviation in Amsterdam. When I got that news that, I wasn't gonna be able to pass, I looked at other studies in the same university. The only thing that I had open that I could apply to was creative business. You guys, I take a deep breath for that study because to me, that study was a bull. I'm sorry. It may fit, and it wasn't even the study itself. It was the things I've experienced throughout the study that I was like, what the actual heck is happening right here? The girl was so excited for her first day. First day rolled around. I was excited. I had new outfits. I was so happy. I was like, this is a new era. This is a new path. Yes, I'm taking it on full force. No stopping, no breaks. Got there, didn't feel welcome. I didn't feel welcome. In no way, shape, or form, I felt welcome. I had a few friends. Till this day, also, I'm very grateful for them. We had different cultural backgrounds. And we was the few in a whole group because most students here in this specific study was Dutch. I felt a bit I don't know, mocked by the teachers. I felt like they looked down on me because they didn't think I could do it. I was giving up. To be honest, I was giving up. I didn't really like the study. I didn't feel connected to the study. I've even experienced some racism in the study, and I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, no, I don't want to do it anymore. I did not like that study whatsoever. I didn't like the teachers. I sometimes would be talking with teacher and different classmates, and the teacher would just ignore me. That's besides the point. So in February of 2024, I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. So I stopped. I stopped going for the rest of the school year, and I was working. But now, in this time that I was working and I stopped going, I had to figure out what I wanted to do, because taking a gap year would not be it. Because I know myself, if I took that gap year, I would not be going back to school. I believe in 2-3 months, I figured out what I wanted to do. And this was the next study, which was international business. Now, this study, I love this study. I'm still there. So that was the last change. So it's technically it wasn't three switches, it was two, but three different studies that I changed. Yeah, international business, that's my babes. I'm a sophomore now. So
We are extremely happy. We are extremely happy. I don't know whether you can define the word extremely.
the girl went through. I'm a sophomore. I was one of the best ones in my class last year. So in my freshman year, I was one of the best ones. This study has brought me so much joy, so much experience, that I this is my study. Yeah, this is my study. So I'm enjoying it as it goes. I've created some incredible friends. I became a treasurer in my first year. Still is a treasurer. Even though I first started with aviation, then switched to creative business and came to international business, and finally finding something that I really like, I still believe I did need to go through those other two experiences to finally be here in this moment, because this was the moment. So it wasn't 2 years ago, it wasn't a year ago, but now was the moment. Those were the three studies I went through, and now we're gonna go on to the next part, because like I told you guys, we have 5 parts. That was the third one, so let's go to the fourth. So now this is part 4, where we're gonna go back into the depth of the whole situation, which is feeling behind. Believe me, I'm a strong girl. I'm a very strong girl. Things, yeah, they may let me stumble, but I get back on my feet. But I really did feel behind every time I switched a study, because I kept seeing people doing really good in school and actually moving forward, getting their degrees, and here I was just trying to figure out. And it is so true when they say that comparison is a thief of happiness. It truly is. Because I kind of compared myself. I was like, damn, well, I'm not doing so good. It's not that I wasn't doing so good, but I didn't find the soil where I could grow in. You're human, you're gonna do it. Regardless of how strong you are or not, you're gonna compare yourself to other people when you feel like you are not progressing in life or whatnot. So you go and look to your side and be like, oh, but this person did ABC and this person did XYZ, and I'm here and I'm just now starting on my A point. And that's totally fine. That's being a human. Being a human comes with feelings that sometimes you cannot, and I believe me when I say this, you cannot switch these feelings. You cannot control these feelings. It's just being a it's a part of being human. So yeah, I did feel at some point in this 3 year journey that I was behind. I was behind everybody else's. I wasn't progressing like I thought I would. At one point I even doubt myself that I would do it, but don't let that voice in your head ever tell you that you cannot do it. Don't let that voice in your head ever tell you that you cannot do it. Because believe me, you can. Believe me, you can. And this is coming from my Christian side. But if my God is a God of impossible, then what makes me think that I cannot do it? What makes me think that it's not possible? At that point, I didn't really think like that. But now I see back and I'm still very grateful that I kept pushing through, although I was feeling behind. I still wanted to be like wake up and be there for myself and keep pushing through because I knew that future me would be happy that past me still woke up and do it and did it. Came here with a plan, and although maybe plan A didn't work, you still can make plan B, you still can make plan C, you can make plan Z, Y, you can make the whole alphabet into a plan. But it's okay. You have second chances. As long as you wake up every morning, you have second chances. You have second, third, fourth. God knows how many chances you can get, but you have more chances than one. There's gonna come a day where it all will work out, and you're gonna be grateful that you didn't just fall into a slump when you thought that it wasn't gonna work out. So, yeah. Feeling behind is a part of being human. It's a part of being human. Honestly, my advice to that is what I just said. Wake up for yourself. Wake up for yourself. As long as you wake up every morning, you have a new chance. You have a new opportunity. You have a new door opening up for you, but you just gotta push through. Just push through. So, to my livelies, and this is the last part. So, part 5, we finally reach 5. This is the part where I would give you guys a message to leave with. And this is for my livelies who's been here. This is for the newcomers who have stumbled upon this video. If you feel like you're in the position right now where you want to switch careers, you want to switch studies, you want to switch paths, maybe you want to take longer to graduate, it is completely okay to do so because we don't have a timeline where things need to be done. We don't have deadlines because believe me, tomorrow you can wake up or tomorrow you cannot wake up. Be there for yourself. Even if you think like, oh, switching studies right now is what is going to make me happy, is what is going to, truly make me feel accomplished, do it. If you feel like, oh, I gotta take a gap year, I gotta figure this out, I gotta put my mental health first, I gotta put myself first, I gotta figure things out in my life, do it. Do it, but don't feel as though you are behind. Because we came in this life without an instruction book on what to be doing or what not. We don't have a timeline. We don't have a timeline on when things need to be done. And I want you guys to know this because it is truly completely okay. Believe me, because we all have our moments. We all have our moment of, oh, this was it. This was it. I had to go through that journey for this specific moment. That is the best advice I can give you. The advice that I give myself every day. Keep pushing through. Just keep pushing through. As long as I wake up, I'm gonna keep pushing through. So yeah, like I said in the beginning, this was the first video of University Diaries. It's a new series that I'm starting on my channel because I'm going to university, so I wanted to take you guys along. So yeah, University Diaries is gonna be a place where I truly show you guys the real journey, not just the cute moments, the aesthetic moments. I'm gonna take you guys along for it all, for the ups, for the downs. You guys know I'm a treasurer, so that is also a treasurer for a student society. So that is also a new journey for me. So I'm gonna show you guys that. I'm gonna let you guys experience it through my eyes. So if you'd like to follow this journey and actually be here, and maybe you don't really know how the Dutch university system works, girl or guy, don't it don't matter. Subscribe so you'll be up to date, and also turn on the post notification so you'll be notified whenever I post a new video. But I'm gonna take you guys along with me because this is the moment where I truly feel that we can connect, because I believe, you know, everybody's journeys are different. Everybody's journey is unique, and I would really love to share mine with you guys, and I will be doing so. Whether it is the good or the bad, you guys will be seeing it all. Thank you guys so much for sitting here and yapping with me. And if you would like to ask me more things, just comment down below, or if you want to reach me on my socials, I will put them on the screen. But it is Life with Tisha on all platforms. If you want to work with me, email me at workwithtisha@gmail.com. And I am so happy to start this journey with you guys, and I hope you guys are also happy and excited. And I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your post notification on. Bye, livelies. Mwah.